John, I will say you're incorrect. It didn't pass. It was 25%. Only 25%.
That's not my question, that's the lady.
Okay, lady from the thing. But also, I love math, and here's why. I bought a house here before Mr. Rice entered office. He says the job was not, the Congress, his argument is I moved here under Congress, right? Okay? So if I bought real estate here before the job was available, actually before he took office as county council, he said there was no job, right? We just quantified that. Well, if there was no job here and I bought a house here before he was in office, then how could I have known that it was here? Do I have some mental telepathy out of a crystal ball? It just shows you facts are used how they want to use it. I have a question for Randall, though, since we've gone down this path. I thought I was Dave Tom Rice. Actually, I got a surrogate here, and whether they want to arm wrestle or debate, I'll have Catherine get ready to fill in for me if you want. But my question is Randall, did you or did you not say in the debate that Tom Rice raised your taxes when all of us were on stage? Did you say Tom Rice raised your taxes in the debate?
I do not recall that.
I wouldn't recall it either.
Let me answer the question about what the county council did or didn't do. There was a millage, a referendum on the ballot the year that Tom Rice was elected to county council that passed. 65% of the vote by the people of Horry County, most of y'all, all of y'all, except maybe Mr. Rodner, are from here. And that vote passed.
Well, we got cheaper taxes.
To give money to the bus system so they could have a set millage rate. Mr. Rice came in and went through the budget, found some savings there, but that's the tax increase that's in the mailer that you hear about. I don't know exactly whether or not you can say that Tom Rice was responsible for that because it was voted on by the public the year that he was elected.
Mr. Rice voted raise taxes. Let me go ahead and finish that. I don't even want to bring up him, but I will. He said that I raised your taxes. There was a tie-breaking vote as to whether to reduce your property tax. The question was, would you have a sales tax instead of a property tax? I believe in fair and equitable, and I would rather have a consumption tax base rather than anything else. You give me a fair tax, a flat tax, I'll take it every single time. And to say that the people of South Carolina don't want another burden is incorrect. You know why? Because 30% of those taxes are paid for by tourists. They're paying that sales tax. They're paying for those beaches, those roads, those vacation centers, those welcome centers. Shouldn't they bear part of the burden? Or should we as taxpayers just pay all of it? I think it ought to be spread out amongst other people that, quite frankly, aren't paying any, instead of the landowner having to pay all of it. I'm sure if I owned as much land as him, I'd be worried about it too. He's got like 15 LLCs, they own property everywhere. I guess I would be worried about it. But that just shows you how you can move numbers. And so yes, if you have a problem with somebody voting to reduce your property taxes, I will take full blame for it.
Is there?
Yes, sir. John, you had a question?
Okay. Well, I was just going to interject. Was there any more questions for Todd Rice that Randall could answer?
No. The question that I had was actually going to be open to both of them, and I'm not sure if either one of you will have the numbers for this, but as Andre likes math, I do as well. There's an argument on 10, 300, whatever amount of jobs that were created. My question that's often gone through my mind is 300 jobs. What percent of that increase for all of Horry County is that? I mean, is that 300 jobs? Just doesn't seem like.
It's not 300 jobs, it's 10 jobs.
But even if it's 300.
It's 300 so-called promised, hope they come, they said they will create them in the future, over many years.
But using the larger number of 300, with our unemployment reaching 15%, about a year ago, how much does that drop the unemployment down?
Well, look, I would never want to say that we wouldn't welcome 300 jobs. Absolutely, that changes not only 300 lives, but 300 families. So I would never diminish if we could get 300 jobs, but we haven't gotten that. We've got promises of people that say they may, but let me tell you what happens on some of them. Mack Truck, remember them? They came to South Carolina with all kinds of tax breaks, and they got all kinds of benefits. And the day the tax breaks ended, they folded up and left. So we've got to make sure if we're going to give away taxpayers' hard-earned money, that we have some provisions in there that they don't take advantage of the taxpayer. That is corporate welfare. They have to be good stewards, they have to be good citizens, and they have to make sure they bring enough in to warrant giving your top tax dollars away, that they bring in enough opportunity for new jobs that we would want them here in the first place. If they just come in and usurp all the tax dollars and get this great windfall, and it makes their bottom line look better at the expense of all of us hardworking folks that don't benefit from that, then I say absolutely not. If they bring enough to lift the community up, then sure we want those kind of people.
I don't know the percentages of that, but I've been on city council for 11 years. We have a seat at the table at the EDC now with Dr. Phil Render, who serves on that board. In previous years, economic development has been a recipe for failure. The entire 11 years that I've been on council, county council's been dealing with, they have partners, the Economic Development Corporation prior to what's there now and prior to the entity between the two. And it has been one problem after another. One of the reasons that I decided to endorse Tom is the one that we've seen in the year and a half, 2 years that he's been on county council is a real change in what's happened. They brought jobs into Frontier. Those are in Myrtle Beach, which is call center. And they're taking advantage of a targeted industry study that was put together a decade ago, right before I came on, that had basically been collecting dust that partners had done, in the 1990s. So I think what you're seeing now is that starting to come together. You're seeing businesses and corporations looking at coming into Horry, and I think that you can look at the success that the EDC has done since Brad Lawson's been there. Those jobs aren't in the ground yet. The deal's been made for them to come. But I think you can look at the success that they're beginning to see in diversifying the economy, which is the fledgling stages, and give, Tom some credit for that, and the folks, Brad Lawson and the folks at EDC, that they're finally beginning to see that come to fruition. And that's something that in the 12 years that I've been here has not been the case. So that's something that I was thrilled to see begin to happen.
So let's, for argument's sake, that's the case. You've got an investment now, 25% of the county councilman, and then they're 25% in term. Why would you want that county councilman to leave if he's doing that great a job? Sounds to me like we better keep him right where he is.
I just don't know if 300 jobs would move the one basis point. That's what I'm.
But it's a fledgling. They're in the fledgling stages of that.
Half of 1%.
If you have 300 jobs